Professor Lance McCracken, why do we notice that more people are feeling depressed than ever before?
Why we notice is probably because we are bombarded with waves of information. From many different channels, we're told that people are lonely. People's lives are not satisfying. People are having emotional difficulties. Mental health problems are an epidemic. So I think one of the reasons that we perceive that depression is increasing in frequency is just because of all the information that we're buried in. Is it increasing, sort of, in fact? It's hard to say that in a definitive way. Whenever we take prevalence figures for depression at one point in time, they're automatically not perfectly comparable to depression prevalence figures from another point in time. Why are people sad? Why are people feeling low in mood? It's for a lot of reasons. We live in a fast-paced society with lots of demands. We learn that we should have expectations for great things for ourselves. We live in a larger, wider, competitive environment where everyone's trying to get ahead, get what they want, be better. And with all that pressure and all these expectations, we often fall behind. We as human beings, we're built this way so that if we lose things that are important to us, we feel sad. We will experience a depressed mood, right? We'll feel discouraged. We'll withdraw a bit. All of this is normal. Withdrawing from life when life includes losing things that are important can be adaptive. Why don't we recollect ourselves, reorganize, and plan how to leap in again if we've had hardship, if we've had loss. So that sadness is part of a package of a behavior pattern that's probably good. If we experience significant, meaningful loss, something's important, we don't have it anymore, then we should sort of recalculate and begin again. The trouble is, the world we live in now tells us you shouldn't feel sad. You deserve to feel happy. Feeling sad is bad for you, abnormal, pathological. It's like an illness. And if you detect that you feel sad, you need to fix it. So I think when you live in a world like that, we walk around very sensitive to feeling sad, and we freak out when we feel sad, and we label it as something that shouldn't be happening and that needs to be fixed. I think in a sort of perverse way, this builds sadness and depression into a bigger problem than it need be. It should be just a speed bump in life, but instead it can derail us because and we don't just have moments of depression. I am depressed. And when we have I am depressed and take that too seriously, its impact on us is magnified. So I'm probably saying people hearing these things may find that they sound counterintuitive because in day-to-day life we hear that we must be vigilant, we mustn't have mental health problems, we must take care of our mental health. To be diagnosed with a mental health problem means that you need to see the doctor, probably take medication, or engage in some other kind of treatment. So this is serious stuff. We and this is the way we learn to look at it. And I think there's an alternative perspective, which is feeling bad is part of human nature. And it's something feeling bad is something we can take with us. Anywhere we want to go, we can take feeling bad with us. So that's a kind of a weird thing to say, maybe in many ways, but I think if people could engage with that, they could find that it could probably get them somewhere. So back to the question, are we having more depression or more common mental health problems these days than we used to? Or are we simply bombarded with information that tells us that we are? And do we become more sensitive in ourselves to anything that we detect as depression or anxiety or something else? And are we seeing problems that are not there or that we don't need to make into the problems that we see them as? And is the epidemic something of our own making? And this is not to blame anyone. We're behaving the way our circumstances organize we should behave. But are we making this into something more than it needs to be? Probably.